Hi, this is Ali, and this is 10 Points to Ponder, where we like to talk about all the things that get you canceled. I want to follow up on the additional points about King David. I'm here in the park. It's a beautiful spring day, and one thing that I know about spring is that generally that's when our hearts turn to being a little bit more defrosted, and skirts are getting shorter, and things get maybe a little bit more difficult as men. And one of the things that I learned from the story of David, especially with Bathsheba, is that with every temptation, you have to know that God always gives a way of escape. And so I want to share the story of David and Bathsheba. I want to just read through 2 Samuel chapter 11, and then I want to talk about 5 points that I think are applicable, especially in this time. Because definitely, as men, if you want to be successful, if you want to remain on your purpose, then you can't be distracted, and you can't go to the left or to the right. And so 2 Samuel 11, let's talk about David and Bathsheba. So 11 chapter 1, it starts, in the spring of the year when kings normally go out to war, David sent Joab and the Israelite army to fight the Ammonites. They destroyed the Ammonite army and laid siege to the city of Rabbah. However, David stayed behind in Jerusalem. Late one afternoon, after his midday rest, David got out of bed and was walking on the roof of the palace. As he looked out over the city, he noticed a woman of unusual beauty taking a bath. He sent someone to find out who she was, and he was told, "She is Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam and the wife of Uriah the Hittite." Then David sent messengers to get her, and when she came to the palace, he slept with her. She had just completed the purification rites after having her menstrual period. Then she returned home. Later, when Bathsheba discovered that she was pregnant, she sent David a message saying, "I'm pregnant." So you see this story of David, you see the story of his downfall, but there are definitely 5 points here that I want us as men to really apply and take heart to in our lives. Even myself, I think of these points in my life. Point 1, behave like a king. It was spring of the year. It's time when kings go to battle. It's time for us in this spring, after a whole year of COVID, a whole year of being locked down. One of the things that we're hearing a lot in media coverage is that this is going to be the year where people just go wild. Because they've been locked down so much, they're going to just throw off and cast off all restraint and be wild. And yet, what our charge is to behave like a king. Point 2, you know exactly what you're doing. And by this, I mean that David knew exactly what he was doing when he was walking out on the rooftop. He noticed a woman of unusual beauty because he was there looking for it. One of the things I know about men, about sin, especially sexual sin, is that we know that we're in that place. We've gone to that particular store, or that time in the gym, or whatever it is that it may be. And we might say that it's a surprise, but we know why we're hanging out in that place. And you have to be honest enough with yourself to know what it is that you're doing and not do it. Stop yourself and say, no, I'm going to go at a different time. I'm not going to engage in that. I'm not going to walk in those circles. I'm not going to go to that bar or go to that club or go to that place where I know that that particular woman might be. Point 3. When he saw the woman of unusual beauty, Bathsheba, he didn't have to stand there staring. This is really something exemplified by Joseph. That when the queen kind of came to Joseph and told him, hey, yeah, I want you to lie with me, I find you extremely attractive, what does it say about Joseph? It says he ran. He ran. He didn't just stand there staring, because you know what you can handle, and you know the things that tempt you the most. And so don't just stand there staring. Run. Go the other way. Walk the opposite way. Look down. Look away. Do the things that you need to do in order to get away from that situation, so that you don't start entertaining those thoughts that lead you to destruction. Point 4. David, because he was looking, because he found himself all the more interested, he started asking for details about Bathsheba. He wanted to say, who is she? And he was warned about who she was. He was warned that she was married. He was warned about who her husband was, who her father was. All of that was unnecessary details. He could have said, man, that's a woman of unusual beauty, and I'm leaving it at that. I'm walking away. I don't need to know anything else about her. I just need to go. But he didn't, which leads me to point 5. Take the way of escape. When David asked who she was, then he should have known that she, Bathsheba, was the granddaughter of one of his trusted advisors. He should have known that she was married and not available for him to have relations with. He got to a point where he was so complacent that although he had all of these wives and concubines, he still wanted to have one more. And so he got to the place where he was discontented. And so here are the 5 points again. 1, behave like a king. 2, you know exactly what you're doing. 3, don't just stand there staring. 4, you don't need to know details. And point 5, take the way of escape. Those are my thoughts on this situation and what goes on in spring. What are your thoughts? Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. My name is Ali Shuaga, and this has been 10 Points to Ponder.